Plaintiff, Heather McGill, says the defendant is her neighbor. And Heather claims she's so much trouble that at times she had to call the police on the defendant every day, and sometimes twice a day. Heather's suing because she claims the defendant assaulted her with a bat. Defendant Katina Ross says Heather is a troublemaker and a drug user who's called the police on Katina over 200 times. Katina insists she only hit the plaintiff in self-defense because she came at her with a knife.
Start with you.
Yes, this incident happened back in May 2009 where we met Miss Ross. Her and my sister were good friends at first, but then after a while they found out she was about a lot of trouble, so we kind of like stopped talking.
What type of trouble?
Well, she was fighting with other neighbors. Her and her kids were fighting with other people. Every day was always a problem.
Different things or?
Yeah, different fights. You know, I'm the one that always called the police, so everyone else takes...
You all had to call the police
Yes.
on her
Yes,
and
sir.
her children?
Like, we've been having this problem ongoing, so...
How often would the police have to visit?
Probably like every day, twice a day sometimes. It all started...
That's not true, man.
Yes, Your Honor, yes, it is true. It all started
Hold on, man.
She's actually the problem in the neighborhood. She has called the police on me every day, over 200 times. So, yeah, she knows what she's talking about because she's the one who keeps calling them because she's the problem in the neighborhood.
What type of things were you calling the police about?
First on March 19, 2010, she was having a problem with her daughter where her daughter had ran away. Her daughter had called the police on them and told them that her mom was threatening her with a bat, okay? So then the rumor started that the reason why she was mad at me because I tried to help her daughter run away. So me being a parent, I knocked on Miss Ross's door and asked her what the problem was. Before she can even explain, she started cussing me out, calling me all kinds of names, talking about
You went over there to do what?
I went to ask her.
Ask her if she want to fight?
No, I know.
Where'd you go
No,
over to
I asked her what the problem was because that was the rumor. I'm trying to figure out why this woman is mad at me. Okay. And she's just told me, get off her porch and blase, blase, blase.
Has you all been in communication prior to that in a friendly manner?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. My daughter and her daughter were friends.
Okay.
So then on May the 6th, after all this had happened, on May the 6th, her daughter, two of her daughters had followed my 14-year-old up to my 7-year-old school. They jumped her. Okay. So when they came back, I did call the police. They stole my daughter's mace and stole her money. The police did come. They went up in Mrs. Ross's house and confiscated the money, but they could not get the mace. Okay. So I did like a background check on Miss Ross to see what type of person I was dealing with. And she has a lot of charges on her, previous charges.
Violence?
Like assault, disorderly conduct, possession, soliciting. So on 5/12, I went and got a TPO, which is a restraining order. And me, I'm not innocent. I've been arrested before. It just kept going back and forth. Yes, I did keep calling the police. There was a lot of incidents. We're not the only ones that she had a problem with. See, everyone else takes matters in their own hands. They'll go ahead and fight them. They done been in fights and everything like that. So on this particular incident, of course, we got the restraining order on September.
Let me allow her to give some background before we get to the assault you're suing for.
Okay.
Ma'am?
I have not had any problems out there. We moved out there February 2009. Heather was the first person I met out there. My kids have been in a fight. I have not been into it with anybody. Nobody. Heather is a big troublemaker. She is the problem in the neighborhood.
Doing what?
She's a dope snorter. Snort pills.
How's that hurt the neighborhood?
Because she's disrespecting everybody, knocking on everybody's house door, begging. She done knocked on my door for a bottle of water. That's the day I stopped her from knocking on my door.
Water. She ain't come to your house for cocaine, did she?
When I first moved out there, Heather was fighting a family. Heather was getting jumped by a family out there that lived around the corner
she
from her.
would be high off cocaine
and cutting
when
up
she
and
did.
acting the fool, yes, sir. At one time, me and Heather used to talk. I used to go over her house. I have seen Heather high.
With her?
Hell, excuse me, no. No.
So what would you be doing while she's sitting there snorting?
She would be high when she called me over there. Her face was all twisted, tongue was twisted to the side. She can't even talk.
That's a symptom. That's a symptom. You're right about that.
I done seen her in action.
All right. Ma'am, you a cane head?
No, she's a liar.
So why your mouth be all twisted when you talk?
She's a liar. I don't know why she's saying that. She's a liar.
Okay, after the kids was fighting, one of our neighbors came to my house and asked me had I seen a gun. What Heather had to do with this gun, I don't know. From there on, she had been calling the police, telling them that we out here waving this gun at her. I have police reports. May 20th, the police was out there.
Let me see the police report. You couldn't figure what was going on?
I knew what she was doing. I knew what was going on by then.
She was paranoid off that dope and called the
just called the police.
That's what folks do when they get
May
out. Ma'am, you must have been getting high if you call all this time.
No, Your Honor, that's not true.
Snort that stuff and get paranoid.
On May 20th, an officer was outside. There was an incident going on.
How you gonna file all these police reports against this woman?
Your Honor, because they're all true. Your Honor, I also have a police report right here where one time the police was at my house. So I told them every time they leave, they will start something. So what the police did was park behind my house.
They moved in.
have abandoned houses, so they were standing in between the house.
You're right. They should have just moved in all these reports. Go ahead. What happened?
The police were standing there, so they said, well, we're going to come back around to the front. No sooner as the police rode back to the front, here come Katina and her kids running down the street. Oh, she just had a gun pulled out on us, and she was trying to shoot at us, and guess what? It was a Columbus police
Ma'am, she
officers.
is right. This is about 200 times you've called
Yep,
that
I
police
sure did.
on this woman. You need to leave that stuff alone.
That's not true, Your Honor. I'm protecting
Something's
myself.
going on. This woman not calling 200 times for nothing. Ain't that much cocaine in the world.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will explain.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Explain.
Thank you, Your
Go
Honor.
right ahead.
On May 20th, it was a stabbing or something going on in our neighborhood. Wow. And I come home.
Where you all live?
Columbus, Ohio, off of Mount Vernon. It was a stabbing going on. I wasn't even there when the stabbing happened. As I come home from the YMCA, I get my video camera because I see everything going on out there. So I'm video
tutoring
camera.
kids.
Excuse me?
Go ahead, ma'am.
So I'm video
Go ahead, ma'am. You had your video camera doing what? Oh, she getting mad. Don't jump on me.
I was serious.
Don't jump on me.
I was videotaping what was going on with the incident. It had nothing to do with me. As I'm watching everything going on, Heather calls the police and told them I'm out here threatening her. Police, paramedics, everybody out there. The police jump up on my porch. One walk up the stairs. The other one jump up across the banister. They're looking for a gun. So once they see I didn't have no gun, she called the police talking about I'm threatening her.
Ma'am, she is right. This is about 200 times you've called that police on this woman. You need to leave that stuff alone.
That's not true, Your Honor. I'm protecting
Something's
myself.
going on. This woman not calling 200 times for nothing. Ain't that much cocaine in the world.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will explain.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Explain.
Plaintiff Heather McGill lives across the street from the defendant, who claims Heather uses drugs and has called the police on her over 200 times.
Let's get to the assault you're suing about.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, this is one of the police reports that I wanted to show you.
It, please.
This is when the police was in between my house, and these are the words that Ms. Ross said that's highlighted. And then there's also a paper right here where...
This is, victim states that the suspect was angry and would not talk to her civilly. Victim states that the suspect threatened when she tried to talk to her about their children and grandchildren fighting. Okay, this says you told the police you were trying to talk to her about the children fighting, and that she stated to you, I'm getting ready to you up. I'm gonna shoot this.
The police heard me say that.
That's when she had got arrested. That's the only reason why they could arrest her.
So she was arrested?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the incident for which she was arrested.
Okay, the one that I'm suing for, it happened September the 1st. Okay, my daughter, my 6-year-old and my 16-year-old had went to the corner store, and she had called me and asked me, can I meet them halfway because she's seen Katina's daughter. Now, where we live at, we have to walk on the opposite side of the street because of the restraining order. Now, no sooner as I was coming back down the street, Katina and her children was already in the middle of the street. She had a metal baseball bat. And I told her, I said, just let me take my daughter home, and then if you want to fight me, we can fight. She said, hell no, I ain't letting you go nowhere. So she just started swinging the bat. She hit me several times in my head, and it was bleeding so much. They also sprayed my 2 daughters, okay? And so I took my hand to block it. And then the last few times that she kept hitting me, my hand ended up getting broke. So I had to go and I had to get surgery from this.
Let me allow her to tell me her side about what happened, ma'am.
Your Honor, we was all outside. Me and my kids was all outside. There go Heather. She's not supposed to be in front of my house at all with a restraining order. So my kids was like, Heather out here, Mom. I said, you know what, I'm so sick of this. So as I come around the front, she coming down the street with this knife. High, drunk, got beer. She got her house keys, but this knife is pointed right this. So I just told my kids, I said, give me something. Michiana handed me a bat. I took that bat from my right hand.
Not funny, folks.
I took that bat from my left hand, put it in my right hand, and Heather walking up, I hit her 2 times in her hand. And as she was going down, she cut my hand across here. And that's when I went across her head with that bat. My intentions was to really hurt Heather. Heather was in front of my house. Here go the police report.
Your intentions were to really hurt her.
My intention was to hurt her. Heather has called children's service on me and my family over 7 to 8 times.
Ma'am, you were hospitalized.
Yes,
and
sir.
what did they diagnose?
Here's 2 of the pictures of before, and I also wanted to show you this witness statement from my 7-year-old daughter.
Who was arrested? Let me see. My name is Brandy. I'm 7. She hit my mom, and I was on my bike.
And she drew a picture at the bottom of exactly how it happened because I asked her to let me take my child home.
The police were brought in, obviously.
Yes,
What
sir.
happened?
And
What was the ultimate result?
Well, what happened was, because like I said,
Was she charged? Was she charged?
Neither one of us was charged, oh, Your Honor, because what happened was...
Your head split open and nobody's charged?
Your Honor, right now, I'm still having an investigation with the assault unit, because see, what happened was she lied and said I was on her property, which I was not on her property.
You're telling me that the police came and they said because you were on her property, she had a right to split your head open with a baseball bat.
Basically, pretty much.
All right, you need to sue the police department.
And I've been trying to, Your
Please
Honor.
do.
Yes, I have.
Let me hear from you, man.
We both was charged that night with violation of protection orders. My charge was dismissed November the 4th. Heather pleaded to a disorderly conduct. February
is this true?
22nd.
I thought you were asking, was anybody
Well, let's
charged
talk
for
about it
assault?
now. Whatever you thought
Okay,
I was asking.
Okay.
Did you plead guilty?
To a disorderly conduct, yes,
In
I
this
did.
instance?
Yes, I did.
Any charge? You charged her.
They didn't charge you with assault, Your Honor.
All right. She
I have
says
the-
whatever was charged was dismissed.
Your Honor, I have a police report where I was arrested and charged. I have all my court papers. Just
And what happened? You say it was
I
dismissed?
went to court and it was dismissed November the 4th. I have the paperwork somewhere. I got the paperwork where she was calling children's service, where she called my landlord. I almost got my kids taken from me through children's service. This girl done did so much. I didn't just hit her on September 1st just because of no reason. This girl done pushed me.
Your head split open and nobody's
Your
charged?
Honor, what happened was she lied and said I was on her property, which I was not on her property.
You're telling me that the police came and they said because you were on her property, she had a right to split your head open with a baseball bat.
Basically, pretty
All
much.
right, you need to sue the police department.
And I've been trying to, Your
Please
Honor.
do.
Yes, I have.
Plaintiff Heather McGill lives across the street from the defendant, who claims Heather uses drugs and has called the police on her over 200 times.
Why did you plead guilty, ma'am?
Your Honor,
Why did you plead
I'm going to tell
guilty?
you why. Because my lawyer told me I wanted to take it to trial. And my lawyer said if we took it to trial, might be a chance that I would not win. If I lost on the trial, there was a possibility I can do 30 days in jail. And I did not want to go to jail. So I did not take it to trial. That's why I pled to a disorderly conduct.
So your lawyer advised you with the physical evidence that she had split your head open with a bat. Your lawyer advised you to plead guilty.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me? And you were fool enough to do that?
Because I didn't want to go back to jail.
Sounds like you were scared you would go back to jail because you felt like you did something wrong in that scenario. Both you ladies have a good day and stop your fighting. You have pled guilty, ma'am, and therefore I'm not going to grant you a judgment because you pled guilty to disorderly conduct to avoid the charge of assault and battery.
No,
so you obviously
she wasn't
felt
getting
you can
charged with
wave your
assault and
hand. That's what happened last time. Did you wave your hand at her? Case dismissed.
I ain't worried about it. God don't like ugly. I know.
Don't worry about it. Worry about that court eviction you got tomorrow.
Oh, honey,
on the
I ain't got no
6th.
eviction.
Yes,
You on
do,
Section
babe.
8.
It don't
You're
make
on
no
Section
difference.
8.
We
I pay
still
full
living.
rent, honey.
We still living.
You're
But you
on
about to
low
be evicted.
income.
You're
You're
about
on
to
low
be evicted.
income. Get a life.
You won't get this
Get a life.
$5,000 to go and
Get
pay
a
your
life.
rent up.